Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix, and you are listening to the week ahead video for March 19th, 2017. I'm very happy to announce that if you are a ForexAnalytix subscriber, you can now go to the Google Play Store and download the new ForexAnalytix app. You can see it right here. There's a bunch of pictures of it. We have also submitted to the iOS Apple Store. It will hopefully it will be published at the beginning of this week. It's already been submitted, and so if you're using an Android or an Apple device, you'll be able to use ForexAnalytix on the fly. So make sure you take our trial. It's 10 days for $1, and you can download the app as well. So that's really exciting. I wanted to go into that before I talked about analysis, because obviously this is something that we have been working on in recent months and are very happy as a team to get released. Now, as far as this week goes, there are not as many important data points and economic data that's being released today. We do have some. We have retail sales in the UK. We have unemployment claims. Janet Yellen speaking towards the end of the week. G20 just wrapped up, and there's going to be some comments that might be a little dollar bearish, just because it seems like we might be weakening our stance on global trade. So it's going to be interesting to watch the dollar as we open the week later on today. But this week we also have New Zealand rate decision, which we'll talk about here in a moment, and we do have durable goods later towards the end of the week. But one of the more important data points or pieces of data will be out of New Zealand and their interest rate decision. But as the dollar opens, let's take a look at the dollar index really quick. I'm gonna take you over to the dollar index, because the dollar index has we have a head and shoulder pattern. It's not the most it's not symmetrical, as symmetrical as it would have been if we would have broken down the last couple of weeks, but it's still there, and we're approaching some pretty key support. We're hovering around the $1 level, really below like 99.20, 99.30, somewhere down here. It's going to be a bearish event in the event we get down there. Now, I do pay attention to the dollar index and also the euro, because the euro looks very similar. If you look at the euro dollar, we have an inverted head and shoulder pattern that's forming, and we're approaching this neckline here around 108 to 108.50. So if it's a complex head and shoulder pattern, the neckline's at 108. If it's just a regular head and shoulder pattern, it's 108.50. Regardless, what happens is we're in this down channel, and if you look at like the weekly charts in the euro, if we have an inverted head and shoulder pattern, we can really trade back towards the upper end of this channel, which could be above 112. Obviously I don't think that's going to happen this week per se, but it's something that may develop. Now, it's not just the euro that's in the dollar index, it's also the pound. If you look at the pound dollar also, let's go over to the daily chart. With Brexit, the headlines coming out of the UK, I think we're going to find out just how priced in the cable is to current market conditions, regarding Brexit. So if it's already a foregone conclusion, the pound's already worked off a lot of that price action, we might actually get a little bit of a squeeze in the next week or two. So you can see how we had a really strong close at the end of the week. I mean, the last 3 days we rallied to the 618 retracement right here about 124. There's a downtrend line, and if we break that, then you're talking about a move back up towards 128, which if there's stops that are above anywhere, it's going to be 128. Then that's had us really suppressed for since last October. So if we can break through this 128 level, I mean, we're probably going to squeeze pretty aggressively in the cable. Again, I'm not sure if it's going to happen this week, but it's something that we should keep in mind. Now, I also wanted to talk about the New Zealand currency and the Kiwi, because we do have an interest rate decision. Now, the Kiwi is in where I called. You can see right here. I think I put it in the weekly analysis, but we're in no man's land. We kind of had a breakdown of this channel here, and we've popped back up, might have set up as tweezer top. The flip side is, we are still trading pretty weak, and the RBNZ expected to keep rates unchanged. With the weakness that we've seen in dairy auction results over the last month, GDP slowed down at the end of the year last year. Will the RBNZ continue to stay neutral? And if they are and they continue to stay neutral, we might see some Kiwi weakness come through the market on Wednesday. So it's Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning in Asia, but something that we should pay really close attention to, especially with dairy auction results on Tuesday. The Kiwi is really close to breaking down. On the flip side is we could post a false breakdown and reverse. Now, I've personally been shorting the Kiwi a lot in the last couple of weeks. You might remember the blog from 2 weeks ago regarding the New Zealand dollar. It's worked out really well. As here's the New Zealand yen, for example. We still have a double top here. You can see that the double top. There's the neckline right here. It still points to 77 yen. If equity markets start to give up some of their recent gains, the RBNZ is, let's say, neutral biased, and they're not becoming a little bit more hawkish like other central banks, we could continue to see some New Zealand dollar weakness. So those are the things that are happening this week. I am paying very close attention to the dollar. The dollar is in a very tricky area that might come under a little bit of pressure, especially if those head and shoulders start working out. The cable could kickstart some dollar weakness as well. And one last thing, let's go over to the dollar yen. You can see the dollar yen is really near some pretty key support around 111. It's 111.50 to 111.80. Okay, if the dollar yen breaks down, comes under some pressure, that's just going to feed on the euro, the cable, and then we might see that dollar actually make that turn, that head and shoulder turn lower. But once again, folks, if you have an Android device, download on the Google Play Store the ForexAnalytix app. Okay, it's already ready to be downloaded. The Apple iStore or Apple iTunes Store should have our app at the beginning of this week. They usually process it within a few days once it's been submitted, as we've been testing it out on the iOS platforms for the last couple of months. So that should be ready soon. And remember, in order to use the app, you must have a membership with ForexAnalytix. It's only $1 to try it for 10 days, so make sure you do that. And thank you very much for listening in. I hope you guys have a great trading week, and I hope you enjoy using the mobile app, because the push notifications when support and resistance levels are hit, or there's a new alert that has been triggered, will be released, and it pushes right out to your mobile device. Doesn't matter where you're at. It's so cool, and we're all so excited about it. So make sure you check us out there. Thank you very much. Have a great week, and thanks for listening in today.